you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Ahoy there, mateys! Welcome aboard Unconstitutional Awakening the Podcast. I'm your captain, JimBob Shorts, and tonight we're just gonna have a good time. I think. I know Luis is in here with me, and everybody else is kind of a wild card. I've even been talking to Kel all day, so he might even pop in. So who knows? But I'm gonna go ahead and drag my good buddy in from way up yonder, his little transplant self that he is there. You know, I had a soundbite that I wanted to play when you came through the thing, but all I can find is the video, and I totally didn't make the soundbite in enough time. But it's totally the line from Austin Powers when she answers the phone and she's like, "But honey, women love him and men want to be him." No, I thought it was funny.
Let's see.
How are you doing this evening, buddy?
Just contemplating all of the possibilities and working to get a chair in the table.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to get all into your personal stuff on here as normal, but the things you were showing me there that you got going on, man, I like it. I think you're going to take that somewhere because, that kind of stuff is starting to catch on, and it's starting to become more of an idea in the general public talking about things like that. So I think there's good potential there, bro. Just want to say that.
We are living in this transition point, and more people are realizing the earth is not flat. The joke is nobody thought the earth was flat, you ignorant people. Like, no, in the past people didn't think the earth was flat. They didn't think the earth was round. They just didn't think about that. They thought about survival, life,
Yes.
their neighbors,
Yes.
their
Absolutely.
cousins, the land, their work, the food.
The next generation that they're raising.
Yeah. Guess what? They had other things to worry about. The
100%.
anxiety-driven nonsense that we are currently living because of this, essentially. When you look at Star Trek, right? When you look at the TV series Star Trek, you never think, wait, so how do normal people live?
I was
people that are not going through space in like intergalactic ships. Like,
I was hoping for a Star Trek type future, but instead we've got billionaires sending dick rockets into space and wanting to put brain chips into people and stuff.
Wait,
so
have you followed the Star Trek universe?
I mean, it's not really. I'm not a Star Trek guy, but
Okay,
it would have been a little bit better.
Technically, we're so en route that it's not funny. According to Gene Roddenberry, I mean, at least how much he influenced in the 90s.
But are we?
Well, if his vision is true,
I think we're more on the route to cyberpunk.
After World War III, we built warp drives.
I think we're more on the way to cyberpunk 2037 or whatever.
That's LA. Did you see the giant graffiti built, the skyscraper with graffiti? Oh my god! Did you see the shot? Did I send you the shot where the guy is in the building graffitiing and there's a helicopter looking straight at him at night. It's
No,
so
you didn't
cool.
send that, but that's awesome. We'll have to check that
Yeah.
out for sure.
Just
Yeah.
look up LA skyscraper helicopter shot of graffiti artist or something, and then you're gonna see it right there.
It's
It's
just,
insane.
yeah.
The
LA.
cyberpunk dystopia is already happening, especially with Apple's new Vision Pro. I will give props to Apple. Their demos were garbage. They should have just let normal people use it in their homes for 2 seconds. Because I saw one demo of a person's house. Every room in the house had a different display on the wall, like
Oh,
true
yeah?
augmented reality. Yeah. So it maps out your house perfectly. So they got the pants for that. So the guy just walks into his living room. His kitchen has a screen. His wall, there's one wall with a screen. There's another wall with a screen. There's like something else happening over here. All of it happens simultaneously. You can even have your phone floating inside of your vision.
So almost kind of
Yeah.
like what Tony Stark was kind of doing when he was with
I
his
mean,
whole computers in the sky thing in Iron Man.
if this is the first generation, we're already here. Obviously, it's going to be expensive. You
Yeah.
can't suspect it's a
I mean,
$3,000-$4,000 piece of equipment. But if you really think of what the heck it has, they're probably selling it at cost.
Ban-
They're actually
Bandit and I
not
were
making a profit.
talking about kind of about that the other day in the group chat. I don't know if you caught that. We were talking about how, like those glasses would be really handy for, say, like an appliance service technician, because I could pull up all the stuff right there in front of my face while I'm working. But then
Yeah.
you also have to think of the dystopian type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like think about all of the above standard quality thinkers on the internet that exist now, and think about letting them having something like that, like just kind of what dystopian
No,
stuff.
no. I'll tell you why. Idiocracy. They won't be in the way.
Do I sense a Neptune in the chat? Good evening, sir. I'm
I think you have
surprised
to
you're here.
introduce him with the quote of quotes.
I mean, I have it, but I didn't have a reason to pull it yet. Wait,
He just entered the chat. It could be how you introduce him into the chat.
Neptune.
If he's okay with it.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Welcome, Neptune. We're glad that you could have joined us this evening. I'm actually surprised. He said he probably wasn't going to make it because he's out there working hard, man. This dude's all over the place. Like, no, we cannot hear you, Neptune. I can see you texting me. I do not have any sound from you, though. And it looks like you're clear on my end. So if you have to re-log in, it's totally understandable. I got a bunch of new sounds, so you guys.
That one. No Agenda uses that one.
Who?
Well, they have a crazy soundboard.
That's
Their
R2D2.
soundboard is like a mega index. Yeah, but yeah, it's
mine is too. Anything at the tips of my fingers on the internet, I can throw on the soundboard. It's called Voice Mod. It's free, and I have to rotate it out because you only have so many slots unless you want to pay for it. And I'm cheap, so why would I spend money on it? Can you hear us now, Neptune? Nope. Nope. We're not connecting to a Neptune sound. He might just be here. He said he can hear his mic, but his mic is in the toaster bath.
But what I'll say
right
with the
back.
technological elements in the evolution of where we're going, right? We have to hit this weird point where it will be a collective separation of classes, but it's the transhumanist and everybody else. How many will be transhumanist is the bigger question. And where's that spectrum? Is it going to turn into like 3, 4, 5 variables? Like, is it going to be not just Flintstones, Jetsons, but like some people's in between and extremes of those?
Yeah.
So the Flintstones, I see it as more humans with special robots that have designated functions, but they have no social, no internet, but they have utilitarian technologies. It makes sense. What is the Flintstones but the freezing of time, the freezing of technology at just the right point? Isn't that a brilliant
So
social framework?
Cold War era Cuba.
I mean, the Cubans would agree. Probably it's like before
I
Castro
mean,
destroyed everything 5 minutes later. No, because Castro made things well and then he destroyed them. Like he fixed things and then he broke
yeah, but
things. This
yeah.
is coming from a
I mean,
Cuban.
I'm just
Basically, it's
saying though,
like
like,
it was
but it was,
like everything was good and then everything sucked right after. It was Russian money
but I'm saying like,
essentially that was propping everything up.
yeah. It's just I just recall seeing photos of Cuba coming out of in like the 90s that had, they had like 50s and 60s cars. You know what I'm saying? Like everything
No,
was
no,
just stuck.
dude, they still have them right now. Almedrones, creo que le llaman.
I believe it.
So
Hmm?
it's impossible to get a car. She never
Yeah,
drove, and many
yeah.
never drive because one, she was very she had the privilege of living in a really really nice area of the city in the sense that like everything was close by. But so interesting thing with property is they have property rights, and under communism you generally don't have property rights. But it's also
True.
because there's almost no competition for the properties because everybody's left. So there's a lot of empty properties, but people have property rights in Cuba.
Hmm.
Um,
That's actually interesting. That's one of those things you don't actually hear. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, people they can buy. You can buy and sell your property.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just you can't grow
You
crops,
know that.
and you can't
You know
have
that.
chickens. That's the problem.
Damn,
You
dadgummit, I
can't have
totally.
chickens. I literally asked her.
Dadgummit.
There's a food scarcity. Why are people just growing chickens? Like I
Yeah.
genuinely asked. I'm like, you have plants. You can feed them a vegan diet. It's not the best, but
You know.
something.
Well, no. This is. I really hope Neptune reappears because he had some information come along his way recently because of some property rights and dealing with his family because like his dad's side of the family's from Cuba, and I guess his grandmother's still down there.
Yeah, she can
And
sell the property. It's just I have no idea how the transference of assets happen, especially internationally. I don't know
I
anybody
don't I don't I
anything.
don't think it was anything about us selling. I think it was more about um like just him not realizing some of this stuff. I don't know. Like I said, he was here. He was so excited to tell us about it, and
I mean,
and it's been a
honestly,
couple weeks now.
this is the thing. It's like compared to American prices, Cuban prices are like beyond the bottom of the floor. Like you could afford to buy a property in Cuba easily. You could buy a whole house in Cuba. They're not affordable. You could buy one. Like everybody could buy one
I
in
mean,
American terms.
I mean,
It's the
they're
problem is there's no
ours aren't that
economy,
affordable.
huh?
I said ours aren't that affordable anymore either.
No. But they're for us, for our income, they're very affordable. It's like, yeah, have you seen how much it costs to have a luxury home in Thailand? It's like $800 a month.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So for what you pay in utilities and food and certain change for one or two people is the equivalent of rent in a luxury apartment or luxury home in Thailand.
Hmm.
The currency multiplier and the power of the dollar is really misunderstood by people that don't travel and don't go anywhere. They don't realize how much we're getting ripped off. Then they
Yeah,
travel and they realize,
absolutely.
oh my god, we are getting our.
Yeah. But I guess that comes with the territory. I guess. I mean, look at where we are. We've been getting ripped off at 1,000 different angles, and most people were blind to it forever.
It's like being in a giant party and they're giving out drugs, but you get no drugs.
Oh man.
That's
That,
America.
so wait. So
They were giving out drugs the
So
whole
you mean
time.
wait? So you mean those times that I ended up at the rave and was the designated driver and had to stand there and watch everybody else do drugs?
That was America. That was you feeling your own experience of you.
Hmm. It wasn't the worst time, but that wasn't the best time. I did threaten to leave a few friends in Atlanta because they had done too many drugs by the time we were going home.
Wait, so tell it. Okay, go. Okay. Everything is
All right.
anonymized, so tell us the story.
So back in the day, we used to run around and do like rave type stuff, like real raves in warehouses in downtown Atlanta.
But just think of this. Half of that stuff, people don't want to do that anymore because of how paranoid everything has become.
True.
Some people do. Some people don't care. But compared to the past, we party even like people are not getting. Technology is actually screwing things up a bit.
Yes.
The surveillance state is actually making things worse, and we are going to enter this weird zone of time where
Speaking of surveillance state,
people will want places without cameras on purpose.
I actually learned that Georgia is like at the top of the list of one of the most surveilled states there is statewide.
Well, there's a lot of human trafficking, so they must track their clientele.
Well, okay, so there's this murder case that's been ongoing in a place called Cobb County, and
Cobb County, really?
Cobb, COBB.
It would still sound at first say like Cobb County. Huh? Of course, there's cameras.
But she was talking about how she was using a couple of the other counties as examples, like that because of their camera systems, they've actually solved 100% of their murders last year and stuff like that. And which that's the only time I'll give a cop some kind of admiral pat on the back, is y'all actually figured out something for once. But like she was going into this county and attacking this county because I guess it's one of the most surveilled counties in the place, and they still can't figure out like some kind of murder
so
case.
Let me say something terrible about that. I would want to see China's data, like on a city that's run ethically, on a sector of let's say Shenzhen or Beijing or Guangzhou. There's a couple of new big cities. I'd like to see how effective is it when it's properly enforced, not dubiously enforced. What's the effect? What is the effect? I know
used against people,
but used for people. Like, I want to understand the use case used for people.
You want it to be used for people.
Yeah, not against them. The problem is it's used against them.
So we're trying this one more time. And
I heard a
ladies
voice.
and gentlemen, we welcome back. Our good buddy Neptune.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
How are you doing this evening, buddy?
I was going to say, yeah, you can reintroduce me with that this time if you want. Greetings from cold country, Pennsylvania, where I am freezing my fucking nuts off presently.
Oh, you're close by. Just close the window. Close the window. What are you doing with the window open?
I don't even have the window open. It is just unfathomably cold. Colder than I like 26 degrees at the moment.
Really?
It's too cold for Neptune, is what he's saying.
Where are you? Basically up in the north?
Just outside of Scranton.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there's a really cool town that's not well, it might be kind of far, I don't know. I discovered it one time in one of my many travels across the country, called Pancake, Pennsylvania. It's a tiny little mountain town, and it's super awesome and cute and super touristy if you want to go by it. It's literally on Highway 19, the same Highway 19 that runs through Georgia.
I'll have to try to find this place, I guess.
You're like, damn it, Jimmy.
Yeah. No, I'm doing fine, man. It's just been a busy couple of weeks. I'll be back in my normal rotation next week for sure. But just been on the road. I've been all up and down.
If you're passing by, why don't you drop off for a second? I'd like to see. I'm going to see everybody before I send JimBob at this point. I want to see if I can see your existence. I've never seen you in person. I
Well,
don't know if you're AI.
Well, funny
And that's why
story.
your software's broken. That's why you keep showing just that image, because
Yeah,
your software's
well,
broken, system.
Yeah,
You can only talk.
No compute.exe. No, I was actually thinking about taking a detour, Jimmy, over to Connecticut for a couple days. My plans got rerouted, but I was still going to try to drop in on Jason.
Well, at least
Man, I would have loved for a picture of that if you popped in on that young man. That's one of my early internet proteges. That he showed up on one of my pages praising Trump, and within 2 weeks we had him going like full hardcore, just nihilistic anarchist on unintentionally.
He's a good kid.
I love that dude. He is.
as
he is
long
a
as
great
people
kid.
stop thinking of the left and right paradigm, you've done something. That's it.
Yes.
Look,
Yes.
we just hope
I
you
do that.
you just
Now-
question enough and make your own decisions for
You know,
yourself, but don't
I'm
think
actually-
that those two parties are in your
This-
favor.
This is a perfect segue, actually.
I actually wanted to catch up on something I caught the tail end of.
Yeah.
Before I dropped out.
Good
was
evening,
about
Isaiah.
The
Thanks for
class,
popping in.
about the class system.
Yeah.
I heard you mention something about that, Luis, and
Oh, yeah,
its
like,
inevitable collapse.
Well, but this thing is, what if the Flintstones, for example, is a representation of the idealistic technological minimum?
In the
Enough for you
context
to
of
live. In the
building
context of
only
in the
enough
context of
technology to provide basic necessities and
live a fulfilling life.
right.
what is the perfect mix? Because we are at cyborg. I'm a cyborg. You're a cyborg. We're all cyborgs. This is our extension system. We're cyborgs already. We're
so
here. We're in cyborgs.
The question is, where do
But
we
it's not
draw the
permanent,
line
so
on what is acceptable use of technology versus what should not be acceptable?
We are interacting with computers right now.
Yes.
Hi.
Sure.
We are inside of the machine right now. Just
Yeah.
think it from the perspective. You're
There's a-
inside of a machine right now, being transmitted across the ocean,
The
the skies,
Through wires in
you
the
know,
ocean.
where
through wires in the ocean to go through Yemen.
I feel like the Matrix films were onto something with the concept of Deus Ex Machina in what would eventually become the reality of how we interact with technology. Like,
I mean, you mean the story? They mean the Deus Ex games.
no, I'm referring to the Matrix, and it's the Matrix films, the Machine God, and basically how we interface with technology. It didn't start with the Matrix. Obviously, 2001: A Space Odyssey is as far back as I can think of, like cinema making references to artificial intelligence and what that would look like in the future. And it feels like we have. It almost feels like we've come full circle. We've entered into the age of we're no longer interfacing with virtual intelligence. We're on the precipice of interacting with true artificial intelligence. It feels like it's not that far away. The research into AI has come a long way, certainly in the last 10 years.
Well,
and, there's
like
definitely ethical. I hold ethical issues against AI research.
I'm all for accelerating the thing as fast as you can, as hard as you can, because I don't think we're gonna ever get to that stupid. Oh my God, the machine's gonna kill us! Like, that's not gonna happen. Stop it!
I believe that
not
when the
gonna
ship
happen.
turns purple and smells like rainbow champagne.
It's gonna be humans controlling it, not
I
machine. I want to be evil now.
I jest in the concept of AI, turning into Skynet, but really,
No. It's not gonna turn into Skynet.
Yeah, that's
it is not in the benefit. Look. Let me break it down for those that
I know what it'll
AI
turn into.
is
I know what it'll turn into before it turns into Skynet.
What is that from?
It is something Asian, but
that's Mao's Chinese propaganda song.
Oh, Jesus. Congratulations, Jimmy. You just officially got yourself banned in China.
Oh, bother.
Assuming I didn't already calling COVID Winnie the flu. But,
Multiple times.
multiple
Oh,
times.
no. I told my friends, like, I might not be able to enter China. I'm like, why? If they...
You're welcome, Bandit. I just want you to know you're welcome, Bandit. I told you I'd do it.
Isaiah has an interesting comment there talking about how AI would facilitate education, and ChatGPT is essentially doing that in some ways already.
And it's going to be great. So, like, if I wanted my kid one day, because right now it's garbage, but if I want my kid, like, hopefully in a few years, and have my own private LLM that's censored. So generally, if it goes off the wall, it'll just reset. Like, there'll be a separate AI that's just watching the AI, like, live. So it's watching the speech. So this is the future, really, how it's going to actually work. You're going to have different interpreters speaking to each other and then auto-correcting each other as separate minds. So you have mind A and mind B. Mind A is the outward expression system. Mind B is the subfilter of the expression. So you have this expression is focused on one dynamic, and this expression is focused on a separate dynamic of interaction. One is looking up an individual, and the other is looking at the reference value. But it's looking at it not from a finite capacity, but an expanded capacity that comes from LLMs.
Okay.
So that, I think, came out right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made sense.
But that's
to me.
kind of how the future of these machines are going to go. There's not going to be any super single mind. It's going to be like we are. We are different minds that function differently to solve problems.
You guys used ChatGPT there for an example there a moment ago, but really think about it. Going back to where you made the comment about being cyborgs, Luis. Think about how many of us, me included, that turn directly to YouTube to figure out how to do something.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. I would literally tell somebody today, go on YouTube, write this. And the thing is, it's incredible how people don't know how to use search. And I tell people all the time, it's like, do you not know the power of search?
And
there are questions I can ask you. I know I can answer people's questions faster, but still.
Sure. Well,
you know what's funnier? Knowing the answer ChatGPT is going to give. That's the best thing to do. It's like, it's going to tell you this.
Well, even in service work, like with me, like doing appliance service and stuff like that, sometimes I run across something that either A, the text sheet is long gone, or B, it didn't have one to begin with.
Bro, the best part is you can take a photo of the back of the device and it'll tell you, oh, it's this thing, potentially.
Yep, exactly. If you know how to use this phone, you can either take the photo of that or find where the serial number is and take the photo of that and throw it in there and look up this stuff. And it'll give you all the information that you need to sit there and figure it out and troubleshoot it yourself, just like an actual tech would.
It accelerates the tech support 1,000-fold.
1,000%. It keeps me from having to call the office and ask questions.
Also, only I've seen that it's halfway decent is eBay visual search.
Oh, that's a good one.
Put some money in actually making it work. So I appreciate it actually works. So if you want to find the value of something,
that's actually how my boss man finds parts for refrigerators and stuff that they don't make anymore, is using eBay and using a parts search like that.
So for a while, real story, NASA had to buy parts for the space shuttles through eBay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because it's people don't understand. The space shuttles are 1970s tech. They upgraded it to, I think, to the early 2000s tech recently, but they were 1970s tech for decades.
Interesting. Well, a few moments ago, you guys were talking about the polarizing of left and right, and I totally had a thing on there. I figured I'd bring up everybody's, favorite, everybody's favorite kumquat in chief that's currently up there, President Pudding Brain, because he's got that 400% approval rating. If you've seen that whole thing this week on the about that, where they said that he's got a 400% approval rating, but he's also running around saying ridiculous ass shit like this.
This is Nick. Hey, Nick. This is nuclear army. Now look, my Marine carries that. It has a code to blow up the world. That doesn't. This is not nuclear weapons, is it? All right, okay.
He's against the camera.
By the way, you think I'm kidding? They start creating up.
I love how he just passively talks about the nuclear football.
What did Putin brains just say?
You heard exactly what he just said. He said exactly what you think he just said.
No. I can barely understand. He said something nuclear.
He to put it in a roundabout way, he basically said that he has a Marine with a code word that will blow up the world.
About 100 plus million people don't vote. The majority of the country is no vote.
I actually
Isaiah,
yes.
the answer is
the majority of the
country no
we
vote.
we don't, and that's the thing. If
no
I'll
vote
say this,
it would win over.
No, that's what I'm saying. I say this every single year.
I got it. All right.
Go ahead.
I don't agree with National Public Radio for most things. However, for polls, they are pretty well on the nose.
400%.
400%.
No, it's 35%. 80 million Americans did not vote in 2020.
Yes,
so
actually, that was something I was bringing. I was getting to is I brought this up since the last presidential one and the one.
If you want to pull that up, but
absolutely, the past two presidential elections. One of the things that I pound into people's head and I will bring up over and over and over again is the fact that if voting actually worked, if voting actually went the way they claim voting actually goes, then no one at all would be president because the majority of the country said, fuck this shit. This is ridiculous and I'm not taking part in it.
Yeah, and it's
literally what's going on. What are you talking about?
It's telling of representative democracy that
but that's telling you what's happening. You literally just described what just is happening really right now. Is they're just not taking enough action. They're fucking off.
Quiet quitting. We're quiet quitting.
But quiet quitting is also not the solution.
Isaiah, I don't know.
It's avoiding it. It's completely avoiding it too.
Yeah, Isaiah, I'm not 100% sure.
Non-participation is part of the
no
problem.
contest. Non-participation is part of the problem. Why should I register to control my neighbor?
Elections.
Yeah.
What?
I said, why should I register to have control over my neighbor?
Oh, you mean the UK with the knives?
No, just period. Like I believe voting is aggression.
Certainly.
I believe, and this is controversial, in order to vote, you need to pass understanding of law test, like understanding of the system test. If you don't know that we have 3 branches of government, if you don't know certain things, why should you be influencing the lives of different people? If you lost your cognitive ability, why are you voting?
You mean Washington, the rich, and Hollywood? The 3 branches of the government?
Actually, that's good. That's good. That's a good one.
So, to Isaiah's point, back when I still kind of sort of believed in this nonsense before I got off the train and just stopped caring, the reality for me was that it always seemed like there was broken because, the fact that...
Oh, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic. Hilarious.
Representative democracy, for whatever you want to call it, I don't care.
Republic.
It does not make one damn bit of difference to me. The thing that always got me is
Washington did.
You cannot run a deadlock on a presidential election the way that you can call runoffs on state elections, gubernatorial.
The thing with the president, that's weird is they had more power. He relinquished it on purpose because he knew it was not a good idea.
Referring to Washington?
Yeah. That's what I heard, but I don't remember how much of that was true.
I mean, it is in some ways, but he's also directly responsible for the Whiskey Rebellion. So fuck.
I was about to say, do you mean the tyrant Washington that just wanted to be king? and tax whiskey.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
still for
yeah.
whatever he did do, pretty much. Nice opinion, unfortunately, uh, get bent. But I don't know. I digress. There's a lot
Yeah.
that can be taken away
Now,
from how fundamentally flawed the electoral system is. And Luis, in theory, I would absolutely agree. People should understand that we have a judicial, a legislative, and an executive branch of government. However, it's almost toothless when even the three branches can't
This is the
determine
main reason. This is my
yeah
main argument, right? This
the
is
checks and balances is fundamentally broken in
well,
itself.
this is why I mentioned that. It's
Yeah.
because we are reaching that minimum point where every single citizen has the access to an education, housing, and all this.
Yep.
Now, yes, there are problems along this route, and it's not perfect, and it could be fixed. It requires us to take further action, but in the future, this would be better because the majority of the people that want to stay ignorant can just not influence the system because they're just in it for themselves. And removing them from the pool of options is important. So it's not strict, it's based off the ability to make an executive choice for yourself and for your community. If you cognitively have an issue, then
now,
no, you shouldn't have a
and
magical opinion on something. No,
this is where
it doesn't
you
matter
made
what
one of
race
my
you are,
points.
what age you are, but if you can think for yourself, why should you think for others?
Well,
It
and
is
but
the
not just
active
that.
power play of ultra smart individuals in politics saying, we're going to virtue signal you into your own slavery. Give everybody the option to vote. Give the dead a power to vote, and then the
That
idiots
already
will
vote.
vote and control.
Yeah.
I know how many
Really?
voted last in 2020. I wonder how many millions of dead people voted. Damn, those graveyards are popping.
They are.
It's just voter
I
harvesting of the
see.
dead.
I don't see. I don't. The idea of one large, gigantic federal government trying to blanket such a diverse country, not only from culture but to the land from coast to coast, is insanity.
I think a lot of the issue we're seeing now, and I don't want to even open a can of worms with the fucking Texas dumpster fire going on right now, is that whole situation is showing, if nothing else, that in practice it's hard to rule by committee, because Texas is essentially not complying with the federal mandates of border patrol.
Correct. Well, I
And
mean, and not
so
just that, but I mean,
it will it's a that is a straw that will snap, I think. And I say this knowing that every state, as you mentioned, like no two states are
are the
alike.
same.
And they're it is I feel like it has always been impossible for Washington DC to properly uh, govern the entire US. Like even the local representatives, they're so fucking disconnected from their communities. Pardon my
Correct.
French.
Correct.
They don't have a clue what the hell is going on.
Well,
They're
what is
spending,
it? Macron had a $60,000 watch, and while he was in an interview, he just hit it from. At one point, somebody told him, "Yo, you have a $60,000 watch on. Could you take that
you're
crap
so
off?"
You've got
they're so disconnected from reality.
and you
It's
and another thing you have is you have
why people
all of these.
lose faith and trust.
I've noticed around in Georgia myself, a lot of your local, like, or whatever you call them, the city, the city or the county committee kind of deal, like you're talking about, almost
Yeah,
per the look. Like, I have seen people that use their money and power to get into those positions to make sure that they can help in the rezoning and the redoing of this, that, and the other for their benefit. I will call out a company point fucking blank. I don't care. Like, there's this company that was started in the 70s here in Georgia called McLeroy. And
we're going to start talking about special taxing districts, Jimmy? Do we want to go into how corrupt
this? I mean, I'm not trying to go into that, but that is the kind of stuff I'm talking about right there.
Dude,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Florida,
and
Disney's the mega example. Disney basically is its own country.
And so this family, these three brothers, are on county committees in multiple counties, and basically run this whole region. Like, they've even got deals with the county government to do roads and shit, bro. This is how big they've gotten.
It makes me sick to my stomach because
and watching them destroy history.
Yeah, they set up.
That's what makes me mad.
Yeah.
Dude, the guys that build roads in New York, those people are making a fortune because they're doing nothing all day.
I'm talking about this is a realty company, and this realty company is buys
How
up in
rich
everything
is the
that
family
they can.
that owns it?
I've delivered a few appliances to their house, and it's
Cargyle is a
their
good
house.
example of a private
His house floats on a lake. The oldest brother.
How does it float?
Don't know. But you can't drive to it. You have to walk on a bridge to get to it.
I mean, that means it's just the property's as big as the land it's on.
There's a giant.
Basically,
inside of a lake on 300 something acres.
If you
that's actually sweet.
If you,
it is super awesome. But like the fact that I know, I've watched these people. These are the kind of people that buy up these places and these parts of history and these just untouched areas and hound for people that are like dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't wait to buy that property because that person's going to die and they know there's nobody there to take it. And like, then they rezone things and build what they want and are bringing the city of Atlanta closer to the city of Macon and eating up all the country out here.
Wait, Atlanta's expanding to you?
Metro Atlanta is currently considered the town that is 17 miles from my house.
Because that's what I'm working on. Like in Dallas, it's like Dallas is expanding, but I find your perspective interesting. Of like, oh damn, the city's expanding. I don't want it.
I don't like urban. I don't like urban sprawl.
No.
Urban sprawl.
American urban sprawl is horrifying.
It
compared to European urban sprawl. Oh my god, European urban sprawl is like so much easier.
Ours is just McDonald's and Quick Trips.
Yeah,
and a Walmart
and a fucking Dollar General that fell out of the sky and popped in.
Oh my god! Listen,
Dollar General. The
two counties closest to me. There are there is two counties that are just, when you go over those two county lines. I've lived in both of those other counties.
How many Dollar Generals are there? They're basically glorified.
12 in one county. And like 8 in the county I was in, and I just happened to see a new one when I drove through there the other day, so it makes it 9.
So I've entered a Dollar General a few places just because I want to see what garbage they sell. First of all, they don't sell anything. Secondly, what they do sell is overpriced garbage. It's literally hot garbage, and I'm like, why are people entering here? There's things they here for more money. Like, there are things here that are expensive. Like, what? Yes. What? Broken brain thinks that this is a more affordable, and it's that they're exploiting that they're entering areas that have nothing. And I'll say to any simple business owner, like, how are you not seeing the opportunities, brah? It's everywhere. It's all over the country. There are tons of places that small markets would make good money, and that's what Dollar General does. They only have 2 employees at a given location in rural areas.
Yeah,
I'll send you guys the economics of that company. Pretty smart. Pretty.
This all actually in a funny way kind of segues over something that actually, it was funny. Steven brought this up in the group chat earlier this week, and I actually have happened to have read this book. This one was on one of my book lists. It's not a very highly rated book, I guess, but it's an interesting book. It's one that I definitely recommend. It talks about kind of breaking away from some of that dystopian type consumerism nonsense that Dollar General is, like, literally. and I don't know, like, connecting more back to your Flintstone roots and doing what's necessary instead of, I don't know, above and beyond. It's definitely a book I recommend. I can totally get you guys a PDF if you want. I already totally have it because I just PDF everything now because of it being, as we mentioned earlier, the age of technology. I mean, I understand these people worked hard on it, but I'm sorry that it ended up on the internet. And if I can read it and consume the knowledge, then I'm going to read it and consume the knowledge. Or I can have it read to me because a lot of books talk to me now, and that's super cool. Yeah. I'm not even going to lie. I like that when I'm riding around in my work truck to just listen to not only podcasts but even books. Like especially if you can find a good read book, that matters. I'm sorry. Like
the practical applications of technology in the modern world, for all the good technology can be used for, is used in nefarious ways more often than not, and it is often to the detriment of society, more so directly at how it affects workers more than anything else. And this is kind of where I see AI going more than anything else. My main ethical concern with the growing precedent of artificial intelligence is that it does eliminate a lot of the human element. It removes the human element in the workplace, in the workforce. It also requires a not insignificant portion of society who may not still be in this day and age technologically proficient, I guess is the right phrase here.
I mean, there's also a bunch of active Luddites.
To learn something that they could do to support these systems, and it will, and I'm going to say this being an IT professional of 20 years, will only seek to dilute the IT sector further than it already is. Because a lot of the jobs in practical applications are going to be replaced by automation. And there obviously will come a need for new jobs, which will support that automation. You need application technicians, support engineers, things like that. As you develop those, you dilute the quality of you're driving wages further down. It is going to have the complete opposite effect as inflation continues to spiral away. As more people transition to IT to supplement those things over the next 20, 30, 40 years, we'll see a significant shift in the technology industry, which is already booming, to a point where it's going to be so oversaturated, people will be fighting for jobs more than they do right now. And it's still job security, but you're going to be working for packing peanuts. And and again, that's where I that's my real ethical concern.
That's exactly what they want to
that
happen. So they have all the control.
That is exactly
not everybody can be a robot polisher. Ain't that what Klaus said? So, but I mean, with that though,
that's all my thoughts on that subject. Ed.
Okay, actually, you're going to have a few more thoughts, I think. Did you see what Microsoft is discussing to do with us since we can't stop sharing misinformation?
Oh, they know how to use Linux. Okay, so we're all switching to Linux, huh?
Okay,
it's about damn time, ladies and gentlemen.
Linux is finally going to get its heyday. Okay.
Hey. Bill Gates, you're not supposed to kill your company while still in the executive office. You're supposed to shut the fuck up, you silly dum-dum. Because I will say that silly dum-dum
we've seen how well he is
at shutting his mouth.
Well, we've already seen how well he is at shutting his mouth, because when asked about his thoughts about Epstein, all he said, well, he's dead.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's not really one known for tact, let's be honest.
He can read a script.
Yeah, he can certainly read a script, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that, honestly. I mean, that's just more forced, kind of like artificially injected censorship nonsense. Like, Yeah, people are just going to find another way, or people will just fucking say, piss on this. I'm going back to a bootleg version of Windows XP. I don't give a shit about your security patches. Fuck you.
I mean,
There's
yes.
layers. There's so many layers to that, man. And as far as Gates himself goes, he can go fuck himself.
I mean, it can't be long before somebody's going to pressure him to the point where he's going to have to be
Right.
like, Epstein and himself, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
don't
total. And I made the joke of the I took the shot, I guess, about the deleting us off the internet kind of thing, because I don't know why, but I was searching around earlier, and I thought I'd look up something just to look it up, and see if it was to see. I wanted to see if what I had seen on a YouTube short TikTok type video where they were talking about the military and police they were talking about like ATF guys were talking about worried about tannerite filled garden gnomes, and I was like, wait a minute, did I accidentally do something? And damn it, Tristan, if I didn't accidentally do something, I'm gonna pull this.
I know that top meme.
Yeah, it's the top meme when you search tannerite gnome. And if you look really close, there's a watermark that's very familiar right there.
I know who made that meme.
And
So
apparently it's
making
apparently it led to YouTube videos and other memes and whole ass conversations that are being had that garden gnomes need to be checked now, and whoops, like
Oh.
I may know who made that meme, like quite possibly.
Yeah, I know where that meme came from. Man, oh man. That's gold.
Isn't it? I mean, it makes me think about our days when they were still writing articles about us, Neptune.
Oh, that takes me back.
So, I did want to ask Luis tonight, with you being up there in New York City, you'd be the first person that truly needs to have an opinion about it. What's up with New York City giving away y'all's tax dollars to all the migrants in the form of prepaid Luis Spanish, didn't he?
No. I was just getting some things. So, this is the thing. I was hearing, like, people are starting to talk about the fact that New York wastes a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my heart just goes, oh my God. They might actually start listing out what information is in those balance sheets.
Oh.
Whenever we talk about the credibility
and once
of New York,
everybody starts reading the balance sheets, oh baby, once people actually read what people are paying the government, what contractors are getting paid in no bid contracts, $700 an hour and you have like 20 employees. Those employees are not getting that salary. Those employees are generally getting a standard salary. You're just squeezing all of it from the top. Oh my God, it's so obvious.
I don't mean
so obvious. Like, arrest all these. Jails of New York will have to actually get rid of these violent criminals and put these bankers and just garbage humans in jail that are destroying our society by consuming from it. Like, you are the scum of scum that consume from everyone that you can from government. You're scum.
Neptune, please go ahead.
The only thing I was going to say, and I don't mean to dilute the seriousness in that topic, Luis, but for the sake of New York's credibility, I have an eternal running joke at this point. Hey, it's like anytime anyone brings up New York City specifically, I'm like, hey, remember that time de Blasio ate pizza with a fork?
No, I think it was
that son of a bitch.
Didn't Trump also try to eat it with a fork?
Did he? I don't know. I know De Blasio did, and I was like, nah, I'm not trying. I mean, this is a serious fucking problem.
This is the
I
thing.
agree.
That is a terrible problem.
It's because this is the thing. You're gonna be a politician in New York. They're gonna, if you ever are getting followed, you are gonna get followed eating a pizza.
Yeah,
You're never. So you have to do the technique of like how you're gonna pour them off. Like
you gotta eat it right.
I don't mean to.
You gotta angle yourself right when you're eating pizza because cameras are flashing.
I don't mean to make stupid jokes. I know what's.
I mean, but that's
New
it.
York's corruption is ridiculously serious.
Dude,
like
the Clownio was so bad at his job that many times he had no awareness of what was happening.
Yeah.
When COVID was happening, he had no idea what the hell was going on. It's like,
the snozberries taste like snozberries.
I feel like we're actually living in idiocracy sometimes, guys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Crocs are a publicly traded company. Of course we are.
Crocs.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
I am not a fan of Crocs. I can't believe that's a thing. And I have friends. Listen, I have friends that go all out.
My Croc AI is cleaning my crotch right now.
I have friends that get the Croc accessories and print them on their 3D printer. A buddy of mine has
it's a whole thing,
fins and shit and flames. I'm just like, why, dude? Like, you realize I'm making fun of you all of the time, right? Like, every time I see you, even if you're not here, I'm totally making fun of you because I know you wear Crocs. And this goes out to all 6 of you that I know wearing Crocs on a day-to-day basis. Like, guys, get some shoes.
Have you seen JimBob's boots? He just is a boot wearer. He is a Southerner, after all.
Oh man, listen, I used to do combat boots.
That part of you is South.
Listen, I used to do I'm talking the combat boots that come up almost like halfway up your calf. And then on accident, I discovered the work cowboy boots. Like they never really appealed to me, but me and my stepfather wear the same size. Me and my stepfather wear the same size boot, and
are they comfortable?
He didn't like them, and so I tried them on, and ever since then, I've bought multiple pairs. I love these things. They hug my feet right. Like, I can rock them all the time. That doesn't bother me. I rock them in shorts. They're great. I can get almost 2 years out of a pair.
But are they comfortable? That's it.
Yes. Oh man,
I need comfortable boots. Where are they all hiding?
And if you get the Justin ones and you register them, go ahead and buy 2 pair. And the only reason I say this is because when you wear the tread off the bottom of them, you have lifetime fixing. You can send them to Justin's and they will completely resole your boots and send them back to you. Lifetime boots.
Hard to argue with that.
Hard to argue with that. They cost a little bit more. Like they're not cheap, but lifetime boots.
Yeah, the question is always with boots. I just need to get the measurements right for the foot.
Yes, you absolutely need to get because I take a weird size.
Dude, they start at like 130. That's not bad at all.
They do depending on which ones.
No, they're $500 boots here, but
yes, there are some expensive.
They're but I love they have range.
The last pair I bought were 175. Like,
oh my god, I have fallen in love with this website. These are great designs. They have so many.
Yeah, dude, I've got a whole ass store up the road from here. Well, not really up the road. It's a little bit of ways. I'm sure Neptune has actually seen signs for it. It's in Locust Grove. It's called Horsetown, and they have every boot you could possibly imagine in that place, and you could go in there and try them on and stuff like that. But here's where my problem is I learned that my tiny size is very similar to a lot of the Latin people that live in this area. And my size boot, being a weird, unique size boot, is totally just happens to be the size that all these dudes wear too. And it is a bitch to find my boots.
Oh, because they're sold out.
Yes, because this little weird 7D size boot that I wear
7D. So what's the
Well,
exact?
okay, that's what in regular shoes I wear a 9, but in these they're like a 7D to fit properly, and like and that it's like a what width measurement because I got like Fred Flintstone feet.
That's actually good. You want this flat, big, wide feet. You don't want the other way around.
And apparently, so that this is what every Mexican dude in the state of Georgia has too, because it is a son of a bitch to find my fucking boots because they are always sold out of my size. I always have to go in there and place an order and wait the week for them to come in, like have them or like just yeah. Because if I go in there looking for them, I'm not gonna find them because they're sold out every time. And we live in a very high blue collar construction area, and there's a lot of Spanish folks here. So like they're my favorites, to be real with you. I love going to party with some Spanish folks.
We are slowly taking over your country, bro.
It's okay. I'm okay with it. I love tacos, and y'all got awesome music, and yeah, it's cool with me.
But the joke is like people say, "Oh, America's not being invaded." I'm like, America's welcoming the invasion with open arms like this.
Absolutely, dude. There's a new
I
Mexican
hear the
restaurant
arms.
just opened last week, bro. Like this is how much it's happening around here.
Americans will asimilar al español y se van a adaptar a darse cuenta que al fin del día este va a ser el lenguaje de su futuro y si no comprenden que indirectamente los españoles ganaron a través de la transición de poderes, pues aunque España es una M, son unos colonialistas de M que son unos racistas, pero pues los españoles los más racistas. All right, hi. So, did you understand a word I just said?
Bits and pieces.
All right, so
just
start learning. Your
just
kids
because
need to start learning. I need to
just
talk
from
to your
working
kids in
with them.
Spanish. Okay, I need
Just
to talk
from
to your kids
working
in
with them,
Spanish.
like-
Your kids better be knowing Spanish then.
The neighbor kids talk to them in Spanish.
Good.
Yeah, like
Get Spanish. Your kids need to know Spanish because it's going to be
absolutely.
really good for them.
Sure. Yeah, I know enough to get around the construction site and to eat.
Okay,
And
pero tus hijos tienen que saber más que tú.
I figure that's probably the most that I need. And then of course
No, you should learn more with time too. But your kids already, by the time they're like 16, they're like can speak at least as fully.
I picked up on when they're making fun of me. I've learned most of those words, and that's okay.
Tell us
I don't mind
one.
when they make fun of me. When they call me a pinche gringo.
Pinche gringo. This is a particular type of Mexican.
I mean, I've always been called. I've heard all the good slang, and
but this is the thing. It's like you're a nice guy, so I don't really see why anybody would say anything about you because they meet you in 5 seconds. They'll be like, "Oh." Well, I think so. That's isn't an insult. Meaning, look, all insults are meaningless. Words can't hurt you.
Exactly. That's why I don't let it bother me. But like,
but it's like even more ridiculous when they don't know you. When they don't know you.
On appearance, I make people uncomfortable, and I won't even lie. A lot of times because of the
tattoos and the socks
and the rainbow socks. A lot of times when I step out into a place,
they're just confused.
I put people in an uncomfortable place because their first thought through their head is that they're like, oh, there's a rainbow. Is this guy gay? Straight up, because I live in the South and that's just how it is. And
but first they think you're gay, and then they might think you're something else. Like they jump from.
And then they don't know. Oh, dude, it's great. I love it. I love being a man of mystery like that and just being fucking weird. And then after you talk to me for about a good 5-10 minutes, the next thing you know, you're probably smoking a joint with me because I've convinced you that we should totally just continue this conversation over where my weed is. And I mean, that's just that's how it goes.
No, the other day I interacted with like 10 random people down the street. It was like short interactions, and it was interesting. It's like, but I had 4 in a single day, and I was like, I guess when there's enough people, your consistent interactions, you can just make them funny.
Yeah,
I just sometimes do the interactions and I try to make them funny because I'm like, what else can we do? Just make them funny.
That's a great question, actually, because I had a good question I wanted to ask whoever showed up tonight. And, you guys watching along, especially you, Isaiah, since you've been keeping up all night, you're welcome to answer as well, too. So I want to know why STDs, NickleBack, and Cockroaches are better than the ATF.
You know what? NickleBack State was overrated. I'll just say that much.
Let's go in a simpler point. Because I don't know. You answered this question better than me. If you were to describe the ATF to a 9-year-old, how would you describe it? Jimmy, start.
To a 9-year-old?
To a 9-year-old.
I'm pretty sure I've already explained it to my
Not
10-year-old.
your 9-year-old.
Okay.
Not yours.
Oh.
That's the way
you guys know how much I'm invested in this topic. Jimmy, do you want me to lead on this?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
You already got it.
Do it like I'm explaining this to a 9-year-old.
9-year-old.
Okay. So the
Start
way
the class, Professor Neptune.
Yes. So basically, okay. So I'm talking to a 9-year-old. Be like, hand me your lunchbox. No. Hand me your lunchbox. No, I want your lunchbox. You can't have my lunchbox. I need to see the contents of what's inside that lunchbox. Why do you need to see what's inside my lunchbox? Because I need to make sure you don't have anything illegal. Do you have a warrant? No. Come back with a warrant. Have a nice day. And yeah, ATF grabbing the lunchbox by force. Oh, also, there's your stuffed animal. Here, I just ripped its head off. Bye. That about cover it?
I think that's pretty close.
Oh my God, that was brilliant. Yep.
Trust me, I've thought about that one in my head.
That was perfect.
I had to channel my inner Ron Swanson to do that one right because I remember
that was art.
That
was art.
Yeah.
You just did. I knew it would come out. You just did something.
I'm gonna have to clip that.
Yes,
I'm gonna
that
clip
was beautiful.
that from the show, and that's gonna be one of
Right
our clips
now.
this week. Like, I'm marking this right now in the time at 1:07 so that I can come back here and find this and make sure I cut this exact clip out because, like,
oh no, there's a few clips we got from here, especially just introducing Neptune.
Yeah, baby.
Groovy, baby. I don't have too many things else to say about ATF tonight. I have some other things to talk about sometime in the next couple of weeks. We have we have a different priority item I need to get you guys some information on that I messed up on.
It's no worries. I understand work, bro.
Waxed on that.
The one thing that we all said from the moment we started is like, family and life first. Like that's why there's so many of you. That's why you rotate around. That's why I don't miss you when you're gone. I just make fun of you.
But I do have I do have some other things that we should talk about here in the next couple of weeks regarding what the ATF is doing, and then really more than just the ATF, federal agencies and the amount of power that they have in a general sense is a good topic to talk about, and it kind of goes into what I mentioned about Texas earlier with the arguments between the State National Guard and Border Patrol. Right now, with that whole thing up in the air the way it is,
sure,
which is interesting. So
there is something you could put your 2 cents in on, and maybe Luis, you as well. That is kind of another uprising that's been going on. Have you seen that? Basically, all of Europe's farmers from every country, just about, has said, "No, fuck your little green idea. We can't keep going with your nonsense." And it's quite beautiful.
I am loving it. Every time I see a French fire, it warms my heart ever so much.
Same. Dumping.
I am on the side of the farmers every single day. I always will. And in the U.S., we have our own huge amount of problems. We need the farmers to start coming together here too.
Yes.
If we didn't have the problem with identity politics that we have, as you guys were talking about when I jumped on. That would probably be less of an issue, and I bet the farmers would actually be willing to revolt. But with that being said, yes, the Netherlands, France.
I got the whole list. We got Netherlands, Scotland, France, Germany, Poland, Belgium, Lithuania, Romania, Italy, Greece, Spain, and Portugal.
This is the World Economic Forum's influence. Like in action, people are like, they don't have any influence. They're literally telling you the script. Freaking listen.
Apocalyptically based, and I'm here for it. every time I see fertilizer or just literal horse shit,
over the government buildings, entrances everywhere.
Just keep it moving. Like, guys, just keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely.
Did you remember when the trash people were aligning with the government, with the protesters? Okay, in Paris, I believe there was a time where there was a garbage company strike. The garbage pickup wasn't being done on purpose.
To this day, I still remember the firefighter strike in Paris against the GIGN and the local police, and the freaking firefighter who was willing to set himself on fire just to prove a point.
Those videos were amazing, and those firefighters proved that they're way more badass than any cop that ever to exist. I'm just saying.
It's just there's okay, yeah. America could learn a lot from what's going on in Europe right now, as far as how to really organize a demonstrated revolt. Yeah, like I know I give France a lot of shit, but sometimes I feel like they never forgot their roots for wanting to behead corrupt politicians.
Yeah, they're just not doing it right.
But there's an
imbalance in the structure.
But there was a time they cornered the market on that. Like, you did something stupid, drag your ass out in the street and get in the gallows.
Oh no, I mean the guillotine is one of the most brilliant of inventions, because when they are being used to cut up some cantaloupes, we need to make sure the salad that's made right after is nice and sweet so everybody can enjoy it.
Back in the day,
I love
that. Back in the day after the wars, there's popular ones that are talked about, and there's a couple small ones if you actually do some digging. But there were many local governments that were trying corrupt shit, and exactly that. The people that were coming back from war were dragging their asses out into the street and making them resign from their places of power, because at one point in time we didn't tolerate that nonsense. And if we all weren't just being thrown shit at us 90 mile an hour, 24 hours a day, and in constant survival mode, because we're all triggered into survival mode. I truly believe, maybe we'd probably do the same, but most of us are just so focused on making sure we have our day to day and such like that's why we're quiet quitting the government, because we just don't give a fuck what Putin brain's doing.
Honestly, I feel like the reason that can't get America unified, at least at this time, behind any one solution is people are marked by fear of the unknown, and that constant need to have what we've been conditioned to believe is normal.
Yep.
That there is great amount of cognitive dissonance that brackets our society.
100%. So. I don't disagree. You know what I mean? And there's controversy everywhere, regardless of what side you're looking at. And they're just
going to focus on what they want to focus on,
right?
Because
their side painted that color or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people out there that won't take the time out of their day to check out that Tucker Carlson Putin interview, because they're going to be biased right off the back just because it's Tucker Carlson.
And that's the thing, is like, it could have been just a puppet, honestly.
Sure. Absolutely.
And that would have been really beautiful to contemplate. It's like, wait, like, if I had Tucker's money, I would have made a cartoon of me interviewing the president. Like, I would simul-broadcast like a cartoon, altering the voice, and then basically it's like a cartoon version, so it bypasses the system's like initial filtration. So like, you will censor this to the point you'll censor the cartoon version. Oh, okay. So you really don't want to make people listen. By censoring them, you actually bring upon this weird situation of like, you're showing your cards. Why are you censoring it? What are you afraid of?
Yeah. Oh no, he But not just that, like he started his own. I seen this week that he started his own like news network and stuff like this, and people aren't.
I got a
You know,
hilarious Twitch comment because it is on the
I see
Phantom
it.
Pain.
I see.
Oh my
I
god,
just
I'm gonna. Okay, I have no idea is the answer. It just came on like that. I have no idea. I have to check in my settings. I have no idea. Thank you for that interesting point. You're still there. That is so funny. Why can't I see my own stream?
The guy's running with it. Part of the lore.
nice.
It's
I love
part
it.
of the lore. Oh, that's living the
But,
script
you
of
know,
Metal Gear Solid 2?
if anyone who follows
Sure, Metal Gear Solid 2.
if you follow Metal Gear Solid far down enough down the rabbit hole, you're eventually going to hit a crossroads here.
What do you mean? We're already there.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Metal
right.
Gear helped me get to where I am in life today. It allowed me to understand. Hideo Kojima is an artist of artists. Like, he's one of the best artists in this field of video games.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He is
no
literally
argument there,
will
man.
be remembered as one of the pioneers of video game narratives.
Have you unlocked Snake yet in Fortnite? I've unlocked both skins, bro. Like I've been playing the crap out of it with my son, so that we can get it unlocked.
The wife's an even bigger fan of Metal Gear Solid than I am, and yes, she grinded to get Snake.
I can't wait for this movie. Wait, what movie?
Are they making a Metal Gear movie? Ooh.
Oh yeah, there is. They are.
I'm
they
looking this up.
Are they?
I mean, he okay. So why it is hilarious. We're in the Metal Gear Solid category. I mean, no, but I have never promoted this part.
We're taking a right turn right now.
Oscar Isaac's going to be in it, and Hideo Kojima is writing it. Wow! Holy shit! Oscar Isaac's going to be in it, and Hideo is one of the writers.
Holy crap! Wow. It's right here.
He is one of the most influential video game directors in the world. He can get any artist he wants in the world. He can get whatever he wants.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, I'm pulling it up.
The Fox engine is actually his work. Like he created the Fox engine, which is the one that runs Death Stranding as well as a video game. And it also works in like Metal Gear. It's Metal Gear 5's engine essentially, which is used in other games.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff up here. Like I didn't even realize. I'm excited now. Look at this. Thank you, Luis, for planting us in the Metal Gear Solid area so that we could talk Metal Gear Solid. Like I played the crap out of those games, dude. Like that was my stuff back in the day.
I almost it's that and Resident Evil games. I don't know where those two categories.
Okay. All right.
But it's similar. They're similar categories of how you move around. Because in Resident Evil, you're sneaking around to not get attacked by zombies. And Metal Gear, you're sneaking around to not. So it's similar mechanic. Now that I think about it,
Metal Gear, and I was also a very big fan of the Hitman series. Like I've actually
I played a few of them. They look fun because I start going through the mission. I was like, okay, I killed this person. Okay, it is kind of funny.
Taking me back to PS2 now. Holy crap!
I have a PS2 there that might be working.
Beautiful.
But this is the thing. You'll never, if you don't have a disc, you'll have to, with an emulator, you have to play. So the controller 1, controller 2 thing, and then it reads your saves and it'll read out what you've played.
Yeah. I forgot.
So if it recognized video games they knew, they put it into the script. So that was a brilliant little programming trick. It read your save files and then read, you've been playing Final Fantasy. Like it might describe a video game. So that was brilliant. You can look into that if you want. If you want to look at that weird trivia for Mantis, it reads your memory card.
Yeah. I also played a whole bunch of like SmackDown versus Raw back then too. Like me and my buddy John from New York, like we used to sit hours on end after we closed the gas station until the sun would come up, just playing SmackDown versus Raw. And this was back when you had to play games with your buddy, like beside each other. I don't know. There's not as much of that anymore. I remember doing that. I'm always down for that. Like that's why I love playing with my boy, even though there's a wall in between us because I play PC and he uses the PS4. Because after falling in love with PC and all the games I've gotten just from playing on PC, it's I fell in love with PC gaming. Like it's gonna be hard to turn me away from it. I don't know. I did have one more thing before you do have to jump out of here, Neptune, for you this evening, because this kind of hits us, and Luis can totally chime in on it because I know he experiences it quite a bit himself. Have you seen the news that down here in Atlanta that we've got an issue with over 1,200 squatters in the city of Atlanta alone?
I did not
I
see
saw that,
Yeah.
and my brain internally is like, so you're telling me these people left the community just open so anybody can just come in? I'm like, how dumb are you of a developer that you don't set up a security system for 1,200 homes? How do you not have a security system? How the hell did you not notice 1,200 people in a month? Like,
Yeah,
this has been months. Like, you
that's
are level
messed.
10 stupid. You should lose your property, actually. I support the squatters because you are dumb as fuck. If you just let 1,200 homes and people just move in, I mean, you're just the dumb. You could have stopped them. You had 30 days to kick them out, you dumbasses. Without any special problem. I don't know what's the squatter rights in Georgia. It might even be over 30 days. So either way, they fucked
stealth
up.
gods. That's right.
They could have kicked them out like that. It's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing to my property? Get the hell out. And that's it. That was it. That's the end of it. The moment they stay there for 3 months, yeah, you're screwed. You got to go through the courts. You lost possession of your property because you're a dumbass.
Oh man. I thought it was
security cameras connected to a computer would have told them more. Security cameras connected to a computer that's just like, there is activity. That's a wise cam. $25 cameras would have told them. You know, there's a lot of cars coming in, but nobody lives there.
That is insane.
I mean, I think it's hilarious.
So the collective stupidity of those developers it's fascinating. I do want to see where that is. I want to see those homes because they are paper mache. That is
oh yeah, no, dude. The house is built
for $3.
Yeah, dude.
I'm looking at the project. We don't want to build. We don't want to build cheap homes. Like, we want to build them right. It's just about just doing it, just taking the time to make sure the detail is done in the right direction. That's it. Homes are not hard to build these days. I mean, it takes months, but compared to the past, we can build high quality, good homes. It's just, the allowance of sloppiness is pathetic. Sloppiness. That's it. Sloppiness. The materials, they go too cheap.
Well, yeah. Well, guys, for the most part, that's really the most I had on my agenda for this evening. I did, of course, have my weekly conspiracy kind of thing, and it's something that not only comes from Steven sharing in the group chat, but it totally comes from one of our show sponsors and friends in Liberty there, Brett Pike with classicallearner.com. And I thought it would just be a cool thing to share with you guys, that, you know, all you folks out there to check out, because it's going to be like a book recommendation thing, but it's kind of a conspiracy thing. It's kind of out there, but it's something to think about, something to look into, something to work your brain for the next week until you get to come back and hang out with us while we're setting sail on all this nonsense that we've got going on. So I'm going to pull this up so that it pulls up good. I might actually hide us. I don't know. Let's see how it does. Ready, and...
You ever heard of the rules for radicals? They were the theme of Hillary Clinton's college thesis, and Obama wrote about the influence they had over his life's work, which includes a primary tenet of always accusing your opposition of doing what you are actually doing. Now, where have we seen that before? It covers everything from building coalitions to protesting and demonstrating to using events to stir up emotions and escalate conflict. He talks about the power of publicly shaming people into submission, as well as using mockery and satire as a weapon, which makes you wonder why these guys seem to have the same view on every important issue. Because you could win the public mind with the truth, or you could win it with deception. And I think we all know which way the powers that be have.
I love that guy.
I do. I love Brett. Brett is one of...
He's so great.
Brett lost his... Brett didn't want to do the thing where he had to take shots and follow silly rules in New York State, and he dropped it all and moved to North Carolina, and he started that whole homeschooling network and stuff, and he is part
I've
of the two,
suggested him to other
like,
friends I know. It's like, hey,
oh
look,
yeah,
you want books and things? I
yeah,
actually got to talk to him because I have a
he's
person that's
such a
writing
cool
books
guy,
for
man.
kids, and he
Yeah.
loves.
Oh,
Once I showed it
yes,
to him what he was working on, I'm like, hey, add to his like what he's selling,
he will.
so
Yeah, he
he can
will, dude.
sell his like. The more authors he aligns with, and I think their moralities align and the writing potentially aligns. So I was like, dude, I imagine you want more options in your library. Because not everything is his books, I imagine, for
No,
sure.
dude, he's got all kinds of great stuff going on over there, and he's got all kinds of
And I wonder how good the books
plans
are.
and stuff like that. And I like his books. His kids like my kids like his books.
Oh,
So
could you? You got to show me one of the books one day.
absolutely, absolutely, I'll have to bust them out one day. Of course, there's a link on our website that you can get to him. It's classicallearner.com and Homeschools Connected, and he's the author of the Cubs to Bears books, and they're similar to the ones that those other guys do that are real famous with the Babylon Bee. They got real big because they're like they teamed up with the Babylon Bee. I can't think of their name honestly because they don't like me because I say markets, not capitalism, and they can't comprehend that because they've never read that book and don't understand that concept and haven't actually talked to the author like I have here on the show 2 times, and got a good explanation of even his perspective of it and such like that. Like it, it's something I recommend for everybody. I know we've recommended a lot
Which
of books
book?
tonight. Markets, not capitalism.
Mm. No, I'm not. Why haven't I heard that book? Weird.
Oh, it's a great book. I totally recommend that book because there's
I'm
a
reading now
difference.
The Richest Man from Babylon or something
There's a
like that.
difference. Now, of course, there's two of you tonight.
Yeah,
so
we gonna run this.
we're gonna run
Mm-hmm.
this.
I just caught the message. Louis, check.
Okay.
Oh God, no, not again.
Yes, again, because there's enough of us here tonight to play everyone's favorite game, Pirates Against Humanity, before we close out for the evening. I have sent you guys a stack of answer cards each, and of course, tonight you've got yourself a blank card so you can fill it in however you'd like to fill it in, if that's what it comes to. I have got my awesome Cards Against Humanity everything box, and I am just going to randomly draw question cards, and I have sent you guys randomly picked answer cards from the internet's Cards Against Humanity automatic drawer because I did not take the time to pull out questions for you tonight or answers for you tonight and take pictures. So if you guys are ready, it's time to run the first card out of my box.
I'm good. Go for
it. What's big, sweaty, and fantastic? I will also draw an answer card from my box because what's the fun in not playing all of us together? An $80,000 bill from the hospital.
Right. Repeat the question one more time.
Oh, yes, I sure will. Dropped it. I said, "What's big, sweaty, and fantastic?"
A bunch of men effing mannequins.
A jackhammer Jesus dildo.
Okay, I think Luis wins that one. Jesus Christ.
100%.
All right. I don't know, Jimmy. I gotta give Luis that one personally.
Luis gets that one, and Obsolete Banana TTV over there on Twitch totally agrees. So Luis gets that one. All right, so the next card that I've drawn happens to be a two-parter. It says, "I'm blank, you're blank, let's party." So 2 cards. 1 and 2. See, I'm drawing mine at random. You guys actually got cards to look at. I think it makes it funner.
All right, could repeat it again? I got it, I think, and it's going to be terrible.
I am with my answers so that you guys can get ready for yours. It says, "I'm whatever master desires. You're the 10th largest man from my village. Let's party."
Repeat the whole question again.
I'm blank. You're blank. Let's party.
Okay. I'm robot with human feces and old Greg. I could do worse, but
you all ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
You gave me some seriously messed up cards, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
I'm a nun squatting in a cucumber field, and you're masturbating, accidentally frosting your cat. Let's party. Louise looked like he just died inside a little bit.
I know it could have gone worse. Let the fire burn. Let the fire burn.
Oh my god. Obsolete Banana says we got a tie with Neptune and JimBob. Wild response. I mean, I think that's the way of playing it at random.
All right,
those were the two most janky cards ever. I don't know how that worked. All right, next one will be a custom one, and is one I've actually used personally before. Maybe, depending on.
No worries. Maybe. Join our peaceful community. We eat grapes. We live in tents. We enjoy blank together.
Watching an orphanage burn.
Oh, fuck.
China's first World AIDS Day masturbation contest.
Killing God.
Jesus Christ. All three of these were demented. I can know. Jesus Christ.
You got time for one more, Neptune? Come on, man. Let me get one more out of here. This has been a good one.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to make my custom card with the blank. So yeah, send me.
How am I, the card czar, going to die? A restraining order.
This one's actually beautiful. I cannot believe that this actually was. I still remember exactly the way I wrote this many years ago. But Jimmy, no offense will be intended. When y'all are ready, save mine for last, please.
All right. Mine is bath salt fueled zombie outbreak of 2012, and now it's 2027.
Oh, shit.
I'm just correcting the card. It's the wrong year. The outbreak is in 2027.
Great. All right, so I've got that to look forward to in a couple of years.
Yeah, you know. What you got for yourself, Jim?
I said that a restraining order.
A restraining order?
A restraining order?
Apparently, a restraining order is going to kill me.
All right, Jimmy, read your question back one more time just to make sure this actually makes sense.
How am I, the card czar, going to die?
Banging a fat chick while listening to Heavy Lifting by Blake Shelton.
Hey, man, are you spying on me?
That one's actually a custom card in my personal deck at home. You're welcome.
For a minute there, I thought maybe you had subscribed or something, and you were checking out my OnlyFans.
No, we can leave that to your haters.
Oh, all right, no worries. Man, no, guys, I think tonight has been fantastic. I love when I get you two in the room. You know, even if it's nobody else that joins us, and you know, for the first time viewers tonight, there's too many of us to count. But it's it's on special right now. It's not $3.99 a month, Obsolete Banana. If you sign up right now, I think it's 30 days free trial. I'm pretty sure, and then it's like $2.99 a month because I'm okay with people being totally interested in pirate booty because that's all that's delivered when you're in there watching what's going on in my OnlyFans for sure. So
this is the thing. I think you would actually make money on that site.
Hey, since he came in late from Discord, you're gonna have to plug the site, Jimmy, so he knows where to find us.
Oh well, of course, absolutely. I haven't had our captions running across the bottom this evening, but of course, these are things I need to run through for the evening. All the folks out there that you're watching and stuff, whether you're watching on Twitch apparently, because that's where Luis has got us hooked up at, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, or you're catching us on the audio replay all over the world, wherever it is you listen to, you can always find us anywhere on social media at UA the Podcast or Unconstitutional Awakening the Podcast, whichever one you search, it'll usually pop up one or the other. And that's on all social media all the way across. We also have our fantastic website, unconstitutionalawakening.com, where you can get into all of this stuff and find all this ridiculous mischief that we're always talking about. And, just keep up with the nonsense and go back and watch earlier episodes. Hell, there's over 200 episodes. I know this says episode 194, but that doesn't include specials and other nonsense that we get into. So please feel free to go check out our backlog of everything we got going on. You can also find us on BitChute, as well as we have our earliest stuff on Brighteon, but I quit uploading there about halfway through because they wanted me to reformat every one of my videos, and it was fucking aggravating. And that's why I quit posting on BitChute too. The past 4 episodes haven't made it to BitChute because I have too high a quality camera now. So it says that all the videos are too large, and I've got to.
Oh, dude, no. All you do handbrake.
Okay.
Don't worry. Yeah, I'll send it to you, dude. It's super
Send
easy.
it to me. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
But
evidently, we're now part of the Metal Gear Solid universe. We should be honored to be.
We're gonna make sure we got some Solid Snake going on stuff every week.
I have a drone right here.
I don't know how we did this.
Honor of the game, like where is it?
Like,
I would love to one day build an actual like Metal Gear Solid drone, like with the sword, like actual, like exactly like the game.
And I do
put a gun on it too, because it'll be cool, like a BB gun.
Do make sure while you're over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com, you check out our friends in Liberty, like the guy we were talking about a little bit earlier with our conspiracy of the week, Brett Pike. He's got stuff on there, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can Survival, and Pure Pet Wellness as well. I'm even talking to another guy, so there might be another name I'll be throwing up there here real soon as well. Go check these folks out, man. They're all offering great alternatives to the status quo and the nonsense that we're fed day to day. Even Kirk with his gold sales and such, man. Y'all just make sure y'all check all of that stuff out. Also find the links to get you some sweet UA merch. There's all kinds of cool stuff that's got our flag on it, our pirate symbol and stuff that you guys seen on the opening this evening. I've been trying to share that more. Neptune actually created that. He did a really good job and sent me a whole bunch of different ones, and I've got them saved, and I just use them for different things. They're tied into some of our animations, and I used it as like a bat signal tonight because I thought that was pretty fucking cool. So you can keep up with all of that stuff over at ua.unconstitutionalawakening.com or any of our social medias. Of course, you guys, I'd like to go around the table and see if there's anything good you got for your last few cents of the evening. And Neptune, since you were a little late tonight and you got to go, I'm going to give you first run. So what you got for me, buddy?
Since we're on a Metal Gear Solid trip, I'm just going to close with a quote from Snake himself, which is to find something to believe in and find it for yourself. And when you do, pass it on to the future.
I like it.
Metal Gear Solid Sons of Liberty, second game.
That game has influenced a lot of how I see the world. So I will say that if you've never experienced those games, just play the first one. First of all, it'll help you learn what DARPA is. Because I love they expose DARPA. Like, they explain it, and I'm like, anybody in the military would not need to explain any of that to the other person. But the exposition is very good because it allows person that doesn't understand what it is to understand, Black Pentagon projects, the hundreds of billions of dollars that we're spending that we're not telling people we're spending. And where do you think the $6 trillion came from for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan? Just like he was telling you in front of your face what they were doing and nobody was listening. How would a video game artist tell everybody, by the way, the military industrial complex is going to break apart into PMCs? Like,
he's right,
Absolutely. 100% right.
That whole game is a life lesson. The 97 game is an entire lesson on the ethics of humanity.
Well, I mean,
They're
we
all
know
pieces of art that need to be
Agreed.
experienced. At least the first two. You can
There-
forget the
there-
rest, but the first two are pivotal.
There is better storytelling in games than there is Hollywood today. To me,
100x. That's why people are
no
like,
argument
"Well,
here."
you can," like, because you have no idea how good the stories are comparative, like, to the stupid movies you're watching. It's like Final Fantasy VI is so entertaining. It's such a fun story.
right?
And I tell people, it's like, you want an introduction to video games as art, Final Fantasy VI, like a simple game. Final Fantasy VI.
This is. I have only
It's a
one.
good
other
intro.
thought. I have one thought on that, and
All right.
somebody would probably crucify my ass for saying this, but I have a hot take. Sephiroth is overrated. Kefka is the greatest Final Fantasy villain of all time.
Yes. Kefka is better written than Sephiroth.
Absolutely,
Sephiroth is
100,000%.
There's nothing special
But
about Sephiroth.
But he doesn't have
the other guy from Final Fantasy.
He's got his
15
theme
was
song. His
interesting.
theme song has his name in it.
Oh, it is cool though.
He's a lab rat.
That's new.
Okay, I'm going to.
He's a lab rat.
He's a lab rat with daddy issues. Sorry, that was very.
You're accurate, but you're out of pocket.
All right, I'm done. Okay, I'm really done now.
Metal Gear Solid 1, the Nintendo version. If you really want to go old school, go for the original one. Looks fun. I haven't played it, but it looks fun. I can play it tomorrow. I have emulators, so.
Well, of course, you guys know that I always like to leave you with something funny to laugh at. So, I just figured tonight would just be a quick, easy one-liner to sign out with. So, I figured I'd let you guys know that if sex is a pain in the ass, then you're probably doing it wrong. Have a good night.